Hello, this is Just Hey from Creative Cards to You. Well, I have to say, this is one of my favorites. I forgot to press record, so I ended up making 3 of these cards. To get started, I cut 2 pieces from 110-pound weight cardstock. One piece is 7 by 3.5 inches. I scored that one at 3.5 inches to make a square flap. The other panel was 7.5 by 5.5 inches, and that one was scored at 3.5 inches, and this makes your card base. Next, I chose 2 different designs from the paper pack, and I cut 2 sets of these different size elements. One is a square of 3.25 by 3.25, and the other is a rectangle of 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Next, I took the 7 by 3.5 panel and I glued the 3.25 inch square pieces of designer paper on one side of the folded panel. So the side with no design paper on it will be what is glued to the card base and covered up with the medium blue paper or the space for writing a message. Then I took the 2 rectangles that were 2 3/4 by 5 1/4 and I glued one to the front side of the flap that folds over and the other to the back side. After that, I glued the bottom of the square flap to the back of the card base. Then I have a piece of kind of a medium blue colored cardstock that I cut to 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and this will be the space for writing the message on. I stamped Happy Birthday on it and put a strip of patterned paper on the side for added interest. I glued this to the inside of the card to hide the square flap. Now I got this jellyfish die cut on sale from scrapbook.com and I thought it would be fun to make an alcohol ink panel. So I used mineral paper and a combination of Tim Holtz alcohol inks and alcohol blending solution just to make an alcohol inked background. Now, how many of you do things the hard way first? So originally, I cut the main jellyfish piece from holographic cardstock, and I cut the individual pieces of the jellyfish from the alcohol inked panel, and I painstakingly paper pieced that onto the holographic cardstock. But then, as I was getting to the end of it, inspiration struck. I am going to save you from watching all of it, but I found it much easier to cut the outline frame out of holographic cardstock and glue that to the main jellyfish panel. To finish the card, I glued the jellyfish onto the small panel that folds onto the front of the card, and I just think it's so cute. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.